All right, time to do CSS battle. I have yesterday's pulled up just because we finished, I don't know, seventh or something yesterday with 174. There was actually a way to make this one character shorter. We could, instead of 5VW, I think then 11%. Yeah, and that should have matched and saved us a character. We didn't. Yep, that matches. So, could have been one character better yesterday. We weren't. Oh well, such is life. Let's see what we have today. We have eggs, kinda. Are they eggs or are they circles? It looks like they're circles that are broken apart. Maybe. I try not to do gradients to start. I'm going to try not to do gradients. I'm going to select my body, and I'm going to make it red with the background. Okay, we're partway there. Let's load the extension because it's not loaded. All right. So, if you're ever doing this in a race, submit. There's a CSS battle where you can battle someone real time. I suggest submit early, so we're already 50%, and that will scare the person that you're playing into thinking that you're almost done when you've all you've done is just that one property. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going forward. Actually, we need to do one more thing on the body. We need to set margin 0 because without it, we won't be able to get to the edges of the viewport here. All right. Now we're going to create a div. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to then select my div, and I'm going to say background is the color that's not quite white. We're going to say height 50 pixels, width. That's not right. Let's do 100 pixels on both of those. Still not wide enough, but that's okay. We'll work on that in a minute. How do I want to do this? I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I want to do this. We're going to say border radius. For the first one, we're going to say border radius is 0, 0, 9 inch, 9 inch. That's going to get us that shape. Now our height needs to be less, maybe? More than that, 60. And maybe this is 120. Let's start getting it in the right place. Let's margin 0, 20, and see how we line up with things. That's not far enough over. We're going to go 30. Now we know it's not big enough. It needs to be 140 and 70. That should be the shape that we need. Now we can box shadow 100 pixels 0. We also need that white color. And let's make this 150, 180, 200. There's the thing. Okay, so we have that. Now we need some more of them. So I'm going to make another div that's there. We're going to select that div by using plus div, and we're going to say margin. I don't know what we're going to make it 150, 30. I don't know what just happened, but something not good. 30. Okay, that's too much. That's all right. 100, 90. There's that one. We're going to select another div plus div selector. We're going to make sure that div exists. Put it up there. we're going to scale -1, that div. We're going to try to find it, probably off-screen low, yep. We're going to say margin -230, not quite right, 250, looks right. We're going to say scale -1, whoops, of 1, no. Whoops, not 11, -1. That's the one we want. That's what we're looking for. So we have flipped it. We've flipped it. The first dimension is horizontal. Second dimension is vertical. So we flipped it vertically. No, we flipped it vertically, not horizontally. So because we want our box shadows to still go that way. If we flip it both ways, our box shadow goes off screen, probably the opposite for you, but off screen the other way. So we don't want that. And then we need, did I add the other one? No, I didn't. We need one more div. And we're going to select it down here, plus div, selector, margin. We're going to say 0 for a minute, or we set 90. We're going to say 0, 50, starts to come into screen. This dimension we know is 30, 150, 250, 350, 330, 340. Looks right. Let's see if we got a match. We did indeed get a match. Let's unit replace, minify, submit, and that'll give us 259 characters. It's not a great score, it's an okay score. Let's prettify. Put the units back just in case. Now, I've talked about some easy ways to shorten this, and those are all still true. We can just replace all of our div with paragraphs. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, and then here we can do paragraph, 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 paragraph. Didn't close our paragraphs. The processor assumes that they are closed somehow. I don't know how, but it does. It assumes that they're closed. And we can minify and submit and save ourselves 20 characters almost. More than 20 characters. Almost 40 characters. So that's a really simple way to cut down on the amount of characters that we're using. That said, if I were doing this for CSSBattle, which I wouldn't have done it that way. I would select my HTML. I'm going to use ampersand selector. I'm going to say background. I'm going to use a radial gradient. It's going to go from, and I have to pause for a second, sorry. So, radial gradient from white to red. Yeah. On the radial gradient, let's see what we have right now. We have a radial gradient that goes from white to red. We're going to make the radial gradient, draw a hard line by putting a value here. I don't know what it is because I forgot. I think it's 70 pixels. And then over here, we're just going to say 0. That makes it draw a hard line. Now we get an ellipse by default. That's because the radial gradient kind of, unless you tell it otherwise, it follows the shape of its container. So right now we have a 400 by 300 container. So we can tell it to change this shape by putting 1Q here as our aspect ratio. So that gets us to draw a circle. It's not quite big enough. 75? Actually 70 might be right because it is split in the center. So let's see. Okay, we've drawn a circle, which is great. We need a circle. But to get to draw half a circle, the way we're going to do that is we're going to say it's going to be 1Q, and then we're going to say at bottom. And then we're going to move it back up. So we're going to say 0 and minus 100 pixels, for example, here. So that's going to draw half a circle, but move it back up. It's not up. Well, actually, we don't even need to move it up. We have some, I don't know. I don't know where we're going to put this, but we're drawing a half circle. That's what we needed to do. Because we're using this background shorthand property, we can also specify a background size. If we make the size smaller than the viewport, that's going to force it to repeat. So I'm going to say slash, and on the horizontal, I want it to repeat, I don't know what it is, about every 150 pixels. And on the vertical, I want it to repeat, I don't know, about the same. We'll have to refine these numbers. So that's what I've got right now. The horizontal repeat is too much, so let's make it 200. Might be right, might not be. We'll see. We're going to move it up. Let's move it up 150, 160. Okay. That's got this one positioned correctly. The bottom one's not positioned correctly, which means that this number is wrong. Let's make that 170. That's close. That's not right, but it's close. 160? Nope, 180. All right. There we have the circles facing that way. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my body, and I'm going to put the same background on it. Whoops. Or I'm going to put the same background on it. I'm going to set the margin of my body to 0. And now we see literally the same thing. And we use the same trick that we used before with scale. I'm going to say scale -1. Now we have the opposite thing going on. We have the white circles that are facing up, and yeah, we have the opposite. Now, if I replace this color red with the color transparent, we get both. Let's see if it's a match. That is not a match. That is 99%. I've heard this is a thing today. That is unfortunate. That is very, very unfortunate. Let's I don't think it's going to help, but let's turn the scale off, let's say at top, and then let's adjust our dimensions a little bit. I don't know what to make that 60. Yeah, that works. Probably still not a match. So now instead of scaling it, we're doing the opposite. We're slamming the half circle to the top of the screen and then moving it back down, which also doesn't work. There's no way for me to tell why it doesn't work. I only know that it doesn't. So we're going to try something else that is not radial gradients. We're going to try borders, which means we're going to select the HTML. We're going to say background is going to be the red color. We're going to say border inline is 70 pixel dotted white color. And we see that. Now, this is not big enough, needs to be double that, let's put 140. And I don't know how I'm going to make this work at all yet. I'm figuring it out as I go. We're going to margin, I don't know, minus 70, 30. That makes something. That makes two of them. Now we need kind of the opposite. can I pull this up? I don't know the answer to that. Let's try 100 here. Let's try 70, 80, 90. So when we get there, they merge together, which is not what I'm looking for. 80, 5. Yeah, when they merge together, whoops, it's no bueno. And that's kind of what we need. So let's get rid of that. And let's try letting all of that stuff cascade down to the body. And let's adjust the margin on the body. I'm going to put an outline so I can see what's going on. 1Q solid. Okay. This doesn't need to be that. Minus 70 there, minus 140, and then background transparent. And then let's make this more 140. Okay. Now we have something that isn't good, but it's something. Hmm. And then can we give this some more bottom margin? 180. Yeah, but it still bleeds through. 200, 220. It bleeds through because there's no background. Let's go to background. Still bleeds through. I mean, we could have another element, which is we used a paragraph tag. Margin 0, 20. It has to have a height now. Let's make it 70 pixels. Let's give it some margin. Yeah, we're gonna get margin collapse with the body. Gonna push everything down. Hmm. Okay. I don't know where to go from here. Yeah, I'm gonna pause. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause because you're not gonna enjoy watching me struggle. So I've been fighting with this for a while. Let's see if I can get my cursor back. I did come up with another solution. It wasn't really better than the initial one that I had, but I'm going to try to reproduce it and then see if I can get somewhere with it. I'm just going to be obvious about it to start with. I'm going to say body background is red. And I'm going to add a couple divs. That's not what I want. I want that, and then that is what I want. Okay, so I have my red. I'm going to do on the first div, that's okay. On the first div, I'm going to say border block. Nope. Yep. Block. Uh, 140 pixels dotted white. I'm going to put outline just so we can see where each of these are 1 pixel solid. You can see a box around the div and then one down below also. So that's what I have right now. Body needs to be margin 0. These are going to have margin minus 70 and 30, not 390, 30. That gets the top correct. Just with that, that's the top correct. I'm going to select the second div, and I'm going to say margin. I don't know. Actually, can I pull it up with this? 50 minus 50 minus 60. No, not anymore. 70. Not any further for some reason. Okay, so margin minus 50, 0, 30. Still not pulling up. Minus 50, minus 80. There we go. 90. 90. 100. A little more. It looks like 120. That looks okay. And then I'm going to put a mask. It's going to be a linear gradient. It's going to go from, now I always get this backwards, red to transparent to red. That's actually what I want. I don't know what this number is, 150 pixels. Too much, it looks like. This is going to be 170, 20 more than the other one. This one's going to be 0. That did not work like I wanted it to. That's okay. This needs a 0. That's closer. 170, and then this needs to be 190. Not moving. Let's get rid of the outline because it just confuses me. Let's make this 290. Let's make this way low. 290. Okay. 250, 240, 230. Looks about right, so that makes this one 210. Is indeed a match. It's 187 characters, which is better. Well, minified it'd be 187 characters. Now let's see if we can optimize. I could just make these all P's. That works. Make that a P. Make that a P. Get rid of the closing tag here. Get rid of the closing tag here. Make this a paragraph tag. Make this a paragraph tag. And we'd save some characters. I want to see if I can walk things up yet another level. So instead of selecting body there, I'm going to select ampersand. And that changes my mask. That changes my mask. It does, it does, it does. But can the mask be on the body? I don't know. Let's see. Don't need margin 0 on the HTML. Let's select star here. Put margin 0. We're going to adjust that in just a minute. And border here. So now we have our border. Let's, okay. Let's get rid of our paragraph tags for the time being. All right, margin minus 70 and 30. That gets us not what we had before. So let's try and make this 150. That actually is not that terrible. Then we need, let's play with mask a little bit and see if it's even going to work. That looks like it's going to work. Seems okay. Now let's have a paragraph tag. And I already have some stuff down here. We're going to delete all that. Now we need to put a paragraph tag in the DOM, because otherwise it's hard to style. I'm going to put an outline on it so we can see what's happening. 1Q, solid, black. Oh, there's a problem with masks and outline. They don't play well together. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on here. Margin 0. There's something much better. Yeah, it's much better. Now, if we get margin n and 0, the problem, what is the problem? The problem is that pushed everything down. Can we push it back up? 160? Nope. 140? Nope. Can we say like minus 10 here? Nope. No joy. Height 100. How do we push that down without? Oh, you know what it is? Let's try height 0 here, and then okay, I don't know what's happening. Let's turn off our mask. Okay. The mask is what's causing us issue. Can we put the mask on just the body? Let's see. Yeah, but it doesn't solve our problem. Oh, maybe this is it. That didn't change anything. But now our outline is working. So if we have this, we have that height is margin of 10 on the paragraph tag pushes the body down. What if we put that in, it pushes the body down also. Okay. What if we translate 0, 10 pixels? Still pushes it down. Oh, still that's pushing it down. I'm so close, but not working. Not good at all. Let's go back to this. We tried just moving that up to HTML and that broke stuff, so that doesn't work. I don't know. I don't love this. I don't love it at all. I mean, we can just select. Oh, nope, we can't just select that. We can do that. Nope, can't do that either. We do ampersand and star. Nope. We do ampersand and ampersand. Nope. I don't know. That's what I have today. We're going to unit replace, minify, submit, critify. Not pleased with this at all, but it's what I've got. Yep, it's what I've got today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.